Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Nihar Kavalia Bhatnagar, and I am with you with the area of ABFM. Good evening, Good morning, everyone. Let's talk about the topic that we are talking about today is hybrid financing. That is what we started with in the last class. The topic was hybrid financing. In terms of hybrid financing, what are we going to talk about? In terms of hybrid, we'll be talking about the different types of hybrid or finances. The finances which are a blend of debt as well as equity. How do these work? They have a blend of debt and they have a blend of equity. They have both of these there in their working. So how do they work? In terms of debt, we are looking forward towards long-term loans. In terms of equity, this is the owner's money, and hybrid is basically having something in between these two extremes. So that can be called as hybrid finance. When we talk about the hybrid finance, these are the further questions that we're going to talk about today. One of the hybrid finance or hybrid securities is the preference shares. Preference shares have got a defined percentage of dividend, okay? And at the same time, when the organization is dying, at liquidation, they have a preference. But they do not get the leftover or something. They have a defined percentage. The dividend is the dividend is given to them, but there's a surety about it that this would be the amount that would be charged from them. So, what is the key characteristics of cumulative preference shares? They offer variable rate of dividend, dividends accumulated if unpaid. They grant voting rights in the company decisions. They are always irredeemable. The ones which are irredeemable are called non-redeemable are called irredeemable. They grant voting rights. There is no specific preference shares. There's a voting right or something. They offer variable rate of dividend. They do not, right? So in this case, the correct answer is dividends if dividends accumulate if unpaid. For example, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5. This is the dividend that they will receive over the period of time. In the first year, in the second year, in the third year, they were able to pay. In the fourth year, they were unable to pay. So maybe the inadequacy of funds would have arisen. So because of this, they would have faced a problem. So when they would have faced a problem, then in the year 5, they will pay D4 plus D5 together. Right? Next point. If the dividend is not declared for a year, what happens to the right to receive that dividend in non-cumulative preference shares? The right is retained for future years, the right is forfeited for the year, the dividend is paid from the company reserves, or shareholders can vote on the distribution of dividend. If the dividend is not declared, the right to receive dividend. Achha, everyone, one thing is true that if the dividend, there's a right to receive. There's not an obligation from the side of the organization. This is basically something you have the right. If the company is making profit, then you have equal right to receive the money here. In case the company is not making any kind of profit, then you cannot crib about the fact that the company is not paying us. If they have profit, they will give you. If they do not have a profit, then they do not owe any money to you. So in this case, can I say the right is retained for future year? No. The right is forfeited. Why? Because this is non-cumulative. Non-cumulative means the one in which the share value is not collected. Okay? So in this case, the correct answer would be the right is forfeited for that year. What distinguishes participating preference shares from other types of preference shares? They are non-redeemable. They offer fixed dividend rate. Shareholders can participate in surplus profits, or they have no voting rights. What distinguishes the participating preference shares from other types of preference shares? Participating preference shares can be differentiated from the other ones as, in terms of participating preference shares, they get the surplus of. Okay, for example, the organization made a super surplus. First of all, it paid the preference shares a chunk of the amount that they were supposed to. Then this huge amount was left for equity. So this preference share really had a greedy thing in his mind. It was like a lot of money going to the equity shares. They said, yeah, this year we had made super profits, so we have defined and given you the money that we were supposed to give to you. After this, whatever is left is our super profit. What do you want to do with super profit? I said, if there's so much of super profit now, I need chunk of this as well. So after I've received my basic dividend, I want another chunk. Now, this chunk is because I have bought participating shares. Participating shares means you get super profit share as well. After getting your basic share value, you can still have more money just because the company has made a lot of profit and the entire amount would have gone to equity. But you have paid more, you have bought this kind of share, so you have the right over that super surplus as well. So in this case, it's not about the dividend, it's not about redeemable, or it is also not about the voting right. It is about shareholders can participate in the surplus profits. That is, shareholders can participate in the surplus profits. Acha, whatever questions I'm making, these are exclusively from the Macmillan book only. So what you can do is, whenever you get time, you should go ahead and practice these questions accordingly, right? So kindly keep a check on it every single day I'm coming up. Right now I've just started with module D. I had finished the module B and C completely on the YT there, and now I'm starting with module D has just started, right? So please make sure that you are keeping your updates there. Chaliye. Next question. What is the primary characteristic of non-participating preference shares? What is the primary characteristic of non-participating preference shares? Non-participative preference shares are those they offer variable rate of dividend. Shareholders can participate in surplus profits. They have fixed dividend. They are not convertible. They are convertible into equity shares. These are called convertible preference shares. The one which can be later on converted into equity, they are called convertible preference shares. So in this case, since they're talking about non-participating, the one do not want surplus, that is B. They do not want it. Acha, sorry. This is the shareholders can participate. This is for participating preference shares. So in this case, the answer would be they have a fixed rate of dividend. It's too much focus upon what we didn't want. Done, everyone? They have a fixed dividend rate. Next point. Under what condition can a company redeem the preference shares? Can these preference shares be redeemed, everyone? Redeemed means the one which are paid off. Only on liquidation or shutting down at the company's discretion after the holders vote of for redemption or on the anniversary of their issuance. There's nothing on the anniversary of their issuance. It can be issued or it can be paid off before as well. The ones which are perpetual in nature, the one what condition can redeem? We can redeem only when we are actually shutting down the operations or liquidation. This is exclusively for the world. There in our country, we also issue irredeemable preference shares. These kind of shares which can be liquidated only at the end of the life of that asset, they are called irredeemable preference shares. After we have irredeemable preference shares, we have something which can be paid off during the lifetime of that particular company at any point of time, maybe after 20 years, maybe after 10 years. So those kind of the ones in which we pay off them within one particular year, we call them within a specific period of time. There is no specific 1 year or 2 year, 3 year. The one which we pay off, they are called redeemable preference shares. In terms of redeemable preference shares, we have a maximum period of 20 years. Then, in our country, we can issue redeemable preference shares. Irredeemable preference shares are not allowed. Irredeemable preference shares are not allowed, and the one which are allowed, even they can be issued only for a specific period of time of 20 years, not exceeding that. So in this case, the correct answer would be only on liquidation or shutting down of the operations. While in our country, as per Companies Act 2013, you cannot issue preference shares for more than 20 years. So redeemable preference shares up to the year of 20 years max. In which country are irredeemable preference shares not allowed to be issued by the companies? US, India, UK, Canada. As I just told you, in our country, we do not allow to issue irredeemable preference shares. Only redeemable, the ones which can be paid off during the lifetime. That means they are only redeemable in nature. In our country exclusively. While it exists, irredeemable, redeemable, different types of assets are there, preference shares are there, but in our country we have only the redeemable ones, the one which has to be paid off. Maximum time tenure 20 years, as per Companies Act 2013. Okay, let's continue further. The answer is India. Okay, what distinguishes convertible preference shares from non-convertible preference shares? What's the difference between convertible and non-convertible, everyone? Is it convertible shares grant voting? Non-convertible shares offer a fixed dividend. Convertible shares can be converted into equity, or non-convertible shares have no fixed dividend rate. Done. What would be the answer in this case? What distinguishes convertible preference shares from non-convertible? Convertible are the one in which you can pay off them in cash or partial payment in cash, and you can give shares. While in case of non-convertible preference shares, once it's a preference share, it remains a preference share. It cannot be converted into any other form. Done? Then everyone, what distinguishes the convertible preference shares? Convertible ones which are can be converted into equity. The ones which cannot be are called non-convertible. So convertible grant the voting rights. No, there is nothing to do with the voting rights. It has something to do with the dividend. No, nothing to do with the dividend. This can be converted into equity shares. So maybe in future, not right now, you can become the owner. Becoming the owner of an organization is definitely giving an edge now. Then convertible shares can be converted into equity shares. What are adjustable rate preference shares known as? Known for offering a fixed dividend rate, having a variable dividend rate, being non-redeemable, or granting voting rights to the shareholders. Adjustable rate. Adjustable rate means the rate of dividend is in our hands. है ना? As I told you, in terms of preference shares, normally they have a fixed rate of dividend. If it can be changed, so this is not about having a fixed dividend. That is not even having a non-redeemable, or it is not about the voting rights as well. This is related to having variable dividend rate. Next question. What is the maximum limit of perceptual non-cumulative preference shares? PCNPS. In additional tier 1 capital concerning risk weighted assets. 2%, 1%, 3%, or 1.5. Which one is the answer? What would be the answer, everyone? Is it 2%, 1.5, 3, or 1? In this case, the correct answer would be 1.5%. Done, everyone? Chaliye, here comes the next point. Regarding these specific nature, what is the nature? Perceptual non-cumulative. Non-cumulative means if the dividend for one specific year is missed out, then the dividend in the next year will not be available in terms of the non-cumulative. Non-cumulative means if we fail to pay dividend in one particular year, I'm sorry, the same dividend will not be accumulated and would be given in next year. You will receive only the dividend for the next year exclusively. Perceptual means which goes on. So in this case, when we talk about perceptual, they have a predetermined maturity rate. They offer step ups for increasing the returns. They can be redeemed at any time. They have no maturity date or step ups. What about PC and PS? In this case, what would be the answer? Perceptual means which goes on and on forever, right? We don't know the end of it. So the answer would be they have no maturity rates, date, or step ups. The answer is they have no maturity, date, or step ups. They have nothing in terms of this. Okay? That's the answer. Done, everyone? Okay, next question. Under what circumstances can the bank exercise a call option on PCNP, CPS, perceptual non-accumulative preference shares? They can be exercised at any point of time without restrictions after a minimum of 5 years with RBI clearance if the dividend reset date is the same date as the call date, whenever the bank wishes, without any conditions. When we talk about these perceptual means which goes on and on. right? And non-cumulative means not collecting of the dividend. In case there's a default, we will not be able to pay it. But in these cases, call option, where the company can call upon the shareholders and can ask them, sir, we have got money, can we pay you off, as we would love to. So in this case, there would be, they can do this, but after minimum 5 years. And RBI should agree to it. Because obviously, certain investments are stuck in it. It is better that you should not be blinded by the fact that there is a minimum time period and everything else stated. So it's better in this case. Normally, you have this particular scenario that after a minimum of 5 years with RBI clearance, this PCNPS can be called for. Call means right to call is basically to call the people to pay back, to get their money, and we will get preference shares. ठीक है ना? If you have issued preference shares, we will be redeeming it and then we'll be paying off the money before time. Our benefit, we would have got money already. So there is no need to run the debt anymore. So let's move on to the next question. The next question says, how should PCNPS absorb the principal losses? When they face losses, what should they do? What is that particular thing that they can do? By paying out cumulative dividends, by paying off the cumulative dividends. This is non-cumulative. By cumulative means to collect. Whatever amount we could not pay in the previous years, we'll collect and pay it off this year. By converting to common shares, by increasing the coupon rate, or by offering step up incentives. See, in this case, if the PCNPS is based, there are losses there now, then it is way better that, see, whenever there are profits, they get it because they are the owners of the organization, right? So they are also, in terms of losses, what can they do? When there are multiple losses for the organization now, then at that point of time, it is better to convert into common shares. Rather than being preference now, it is better to convert to the common shares. But this should be done when once you are thinking about the end of the organization or you want to change its face altogether. This is by converting to common shares. Next point. What should purchase PC? Who should purchase PCNPS according to the provided term? Bank and related party, an individual, only Indian government, or neither bank nor the related party. Who can buy these? See, this can be issued to anybody, but always remember the related party cannot be the one, and even banks are not allowed to use it. Related parties are the parties which have influence over the organization. For example, key managerial personnel. If the key managerial personnel has a particular place outside somewhere, that is also covered here. For example, if I am a key managerial personnel and I have got my own company out there, and my company is also dealing with this company, and then maybe I am receiving a lot of salary, whatever my salary is, that is also my money there. If I buy and sell something for the company, then arm length price should be determined because I am a related party there. And if I show my interest on that particular thing, what will they do? That is another point that I have to consider. There are many things that has to be considered when it comes to this area. No? So the related parties are, they can turn out to be biased towards the organization. That is why we are not going to choose either the bank or the related parties. So in this case, the correct answer would be neither the bank nor the related party. So this is it for the day, everyone. I hope you have already taken up our courses. If you haven't, then do you know we have just started with our batches for the CIIB and we'll be starting with more. So what you can do is you can check it out on our website, or you can reach out to the website and our app for further details. Go on to the area of JIB and CIB on our website www.adda247.com, Go on to the area of JIB and CIB. Go on to the area of CIB November. Everybody who's giving the CIB November examination, our batches have started. I think from this 8th of November, we are starting with something new as well. In terms of bilingual, it would be starting. For the English medium, I'll be updating soon. So what you can do is you can go for the CIB Mahapack. In the CIB Mahapack, you will get all these classes, the paid classes that we are taking in our currently, and along with this, with our paid classes, you will also get ebooks. You will also get mock test paper, unit tests for individual chapter there, so that you can learn which particular chapter has more importance than the other, right? And then we also provide, in terms of the working there, 5 plus hours of marathon, 10 plus hours of mini marathons, and then we are also providing doubt classes. We are also giving mock test papers. All these things are available. If you want to take it up, then what you can do is you can take 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months validity. So based upon this, the amount will vary. So if you're looking forward to it, then visit our website there. This is where you will find the entire area. What you can do is you can take up 500 hours of online classes, 132 test series, 273 ebooks, and even 970 videos. All these things are available on our website. The validity is for 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months altogether, right? You can use the code OCT77 to get up to 77% of discount. So kindly check it out on our website, on our app for further details. This is for the CIB. Acha, plus point of this Maha pack is you will also get all the electives. That means rural banking, HRM, IT and digital banking, risk management, and central banking. If you're looking forward towards the regular classes, then we are providing this in our Mahapak. While in terms of Sankalp batch, only the 4 subjects would be available. So I would suggest you, it is way better to go for the product description. There are many people who won't be giving the examination this time, but would be giving the next time, right? For all those people who are looking forward to these things, then when we talk about this area, you can take up our courses on our website and our app for further details. What can you do about it? You just have to use OCT. Acha, when we talk about this area, you will not have a problem in any of these. The video courses of the same are available. And acha, one more thing. There are good number of mock tests that we have provided you. Now, even we are looking forward to more detailed testing so that you can prepare properly. So please go ahead and check it out on our website and our app for further details. This is for only the Mahapak. If you want to take up only those 4 subjects, then you can click on the area of CIB Sankalp patch, and this is where November, December area, since the examination is going to start from end of November. So this is what you can specify. So you just have to click on the area of buy now, use the code OCT77. You can use the code OCT77, and as soon as you will apply it, it will give you a discount of the again 77% in your app. It would give you 78%, and you have to pay six for this. You have to pay 5519.77. Okay, so we'll be meeting tomorrow. Thank you so